chief guest, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to invite the Mount Kenya University chaplain, Father Reverend Dr. Raphael Wanjau, to commit this congregation to the Lord in prayer.
We commence this conference in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of life and good health, especially during these hard times of COVID-19. We thank you and praise you for the conveners of this conference. We come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this conference. Help us to engage in a meaningful discussion and sharing. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the boards in this entrepreneurship conference. Bless all the participants, both physical and virtual. Protect us from the evil one. May what we are going to share in this conference be for the good of the universities participating in this conference. May this conference bear fruits in our country, our continent, Africa, and beyond. God bless the participants. God bless our universities. God bless our world. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you so much. We can have our seats. We appreciate your presence in this occasion, this being our conference on entrepreneurial universities in Africa, being brought to you courtesy of Collaboration for Entrepreneurial Universities, as well as Developing Entrepreneurial Universities in Kenya. We want to recognize your presence, even those of us joining us live through our social media platforms. We really appreciate your presence, and we are truly looking forward to a good interaction. For those of us who are here physically, I want you to turn to your neighbor and tell him or her, Karibu sana. That is the Kenyan style of saying welcome. Turn to your neighbor, tell him or her, Karibu sana with a smile. Ambia vizuri, Karibu sana. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. Our chief guest, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, it is my honor and privilege to invite a group from Mount Kenya University students who will be performing a cultural dance with a theme, Wendo, which means love. And the message is, in all seasons, let us project love. Over to you, our cultural dancers. We can do better by appreciating them in a better way. Kindly let's appreciate them in a better way. We really appreciate our students. Thank you for being part and parcel of the success story of entrepreneurial universities in Africa. We are welcoming you on board, those of us who are joining us live from different mainstreams, that is social media platforms, through Facebook, through YouTube, through Twitter, and also through Microsoft Teams. And we really appreciate your presence and we recognize your presence. Remember, you can interact with us through the chat room that has been provided, and you can give us your views, your sentiments, and your comments. We have to make one announcement that in every floor under this building, there are enough places or washrooms, so kindly feel free. We'll also be requesting our protocol team to take charge, and in case of any issue, you can get in touch with our protocol team and ushering team, all those who are donning respective badges. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to invite the Principal Corporate Services, Professor Peter Wanderi, to go on with the next part of our program. Kindly, sir.
Dear our chief guest, Dr. Kamal Bachakrik, Professor and Pro-Chancellor, Research and Transfer at International University of Applied Sciences of Germany. Dear Bit Shilda Kovat, Head of Branch Office, representatives of the DAD in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Burundi. Dear the Pro-Chancellor of Mount Kenya University, Dr. Vincent Gaido. Dear the partners of the SEPU project, headed by their Vice Chancellors. Dear the partners of the PUC project, headed by their respective Vice Chancellors. Dear the CEOs of the participating organizations that are here, represented either physically or online. Dear project leaders of the two projects, dear alumni and stakeholders of SEPU and the CUT, our invited guests, both present physically and also online, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. I thought the Kenyans in the house would answer more strongly. Hamjambo. I thought of using that word, which is in Kiswahili means, is a greeting word, because people who are with us here are at different time zones across the globe. And we appreciate that we have persons who are right now enjoying their afternoon sessions of the day, and others have taken a break in their sleep to join us. And therefore, we appreciate you all. Our chief guest, my business this morning is a very simple one, is to conduct a session of introductions. But given that we are behind the schedule, allow me to take a shortcut, colleagues and members who are here, both online and physically, so that we can try to accomplish our business within the shortest period of time. But before I do the introduction, our chief guests and the vice chancellors who are here and the CEOs of various organizations and colleagues, delegates, let me just mention one thing, that as we move on in the course of the day, we are celebrating the partnerships, we are celebrating the collaborations, the linkages and cooperations between universities, both locally and with universities abroad, as well as university industry partnerships. And therefore, I'm making that comment before I do the introduction because I know all our universities have that office, and I'm sure the holders of that office should be toasting towards the end of the day and should be also to give us a good report because this is their day. Having said that, I will request that we do introductions, not individually, but through groups. And the first group that we shall acknowledge, we are not following any particular order. We shall acknowledge a huge presence of delegates and participants who are online. Wherever they are, wherever you are and you are listening, I would not mention names, but we are informed some are in Asia, others are in Europe, in America, and quite a number of them in Africa and in Kenya. So that is one team we acknowledge, but also introduce. I also wish to introduce the members of the DEPUC, that is Development of Partnership of Entrepreneurial Universities in Kenya, headed by their respective vice chancellors who are here. Maybe they can rise up, those ones who are here physically, and those ones who are online also feel that we are introducing you. The vice chancellors and the members of those universities that are at the DEPUC, Development of, please rise up. Please rise up, rise up. So, do we give them an applause, please? Later on, we shall be introduced by my Vice Chancellor to the leaders of the program, not necessarily that team. And also, wherever they come from, they are from 3 universities in Kenya, Chuka University, maybe, yes, they're a club. Dedan Kimathi University, thank you, a club. And Karatina University, a club. Thank you, we appreciate you. Appreciate you. The next team is the representatives of the SEPU project. Please, the SEPU for entrepreneurial universities, and we have Mount Kenya University representatives headed by our Vice Chancellor, also the Pro Chancellor is there, and the DVCs and members of staff and students. Please rise up and be joined by members from Kenyatta University. We have the representative of the Vice Chancellor, that is the DVC, Professor Glavenier, and we have got quite a number of members also from Kenyatta University, but also we have representatives from the other universities in Germany who are online. Could we give them an applause? Please take your seat. I have been told that when I requested the DEPUC to rise up, I did not mention one of the partners who universities that are represented. So may I repeat, the DEPUC team, please rise up, and the German representatives, because they are here from Salad University, also rise up with them. Please, DEPUC. DEPUC, let's do it once again, because Germans who came to visit and to be with us physically, we need to acknowledge them, having come all the way, and we have been with them since yesterday, and they are participating physically. Let's give them an applause. Thank you very much. May I also recognize the CEOs of various organizations who are here. Some of them are online, others are here physically. Wherever you are representing the industry, please rise up. Physically, maybe we may not have, but I'm informed that we have been joined online by a number of CEOs and members from the industry. So feel appreciated wherever you are. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this point to appreciate the coordinators of the 2 projects. The coordinators, wherever you are going to stand up again. We will not mention you by your names, but please, wherever you are, rise up so that we can also see who are the persons that were behind this. We are aware that some coordinators are online, like there is Christine who is online, but the coordinators who are here, please raise up your hand so that we can see you and recognize you. We appreciate because of a lot of work that you have done. And members, the coordinators will also be shown, we'll see their faces during the presentation, and we are happy about that. With those few remarks, our chief guest, ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this moment to humbly invite our Vice Chancellor, Deogratius Gianni, who is the Vice Kenya University, to come and give his remarks and invite us. Will be giving other vice chancellors will be the closing ceremony. So at this moment, I request the vice chancellor to invite the delegates who will give their remarks. Thank you. Welcome, Vice Chancellor.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Good morning, everybody. Okay, that means you can hear me. And I hope that our guests who have joined us virtually online can also hear me. Let me start by recognizing a few people, because a lot of people have been involved in organizing this particular conference. The chief guest, Dr. Kamal Bhattacharya, Professor and Pro-Rector Research and Transfer at International University of Applied Sciences in Germany. Beat Shidler-Kovat, if I pronounce name wrongly, sorry for that. Head of Branch Office Representative of the DAD in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, South Sudan, Ethiopia, and Burundi. Dr. Vincent Gaido, Pro-Chancellor and Vice Chairman of Mount Kenya University Council. The colleagues from SEPU, Project Partner Universities, namely Professor Eugen Bode, Vice President for International Affairs, Diversity, Bonn, Rhein-Sieg University of Applied Sciences in Germany. Professor Paul Wainaina, Vice Chancellor, Kenyatta University. Representative from Leipzig University. Representative from Leopoldfan University, Lunenburg, and representative from Wisman University of Applied Sciences. Vice Chancellors of Partner University for the project on developing entrepreneurial universities in Kenya, the PUC, namely representative from Saland University, Professor Mshai Mchiri, Vice Chancellor Karatina University, Kenya, Professor Engineer Peter Ndirangu Kioni, Vice Chancellor de Kut, Kenya, represented by Professor Peter Mchiri, Professor Erastus Nyaga Njoka, Vice Chancellor Chuka University, Dr. Angelina Njoka, Chief Executive Officer, Kenya National Commissioner for UNESCO, a partner to KU and MKU. Members of the University Management Board, MKU and partner universities, project leaders from the principal university, namely Christine Freitag, SEPU project leader, Bonn Rhein-Sieg University of Applied Sciences, Germany, Dr. Nida Bajwa, the PUC project leader, Saarland University, Germany, project coordinators from MKU, KU, Chuka, Karatina, and Dedan Kimathi University, alumnus and stakeholders of SEPU and the KUT project, invited invited distinguished guests present, participants on the virtual space across the world, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to join my colleagues in welcoming all our guests to the Mount Kenya University for this very timely first international conference on Entrepreneurial University of Africa, which is co-hosted by SEPU and the PUC project under the sponsorship of the DAD and the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. I also wish to pass warm regards from the MKU fraternity, and many of them are with us online. Please receive and accept their warm regards. Additionally, I wish to welcome you all to this facility, the Mwai Kibaki Convention Center at Mount Kenya University, as the venue of the inaugural International Conference on Entrepreneurial Universities, which is both physical and online. We thank you all, our dear participants, for joining us today. Somebody may ask, what's the justification for establishing of entrepreneurial universities in Africa? Our chief guest, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to refer you to an article published on the 30th of September 2021 in the Business Daily, which is an East African regional publication entitled "Half of Kenyan Jobless Give Up on Work Search." The writer Charles Mwaniki indicated that as unemployed among the youth continue to be a social economic challenge, majority of unemployed youth, including graduates, have even given up on job search, saying, data by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics covering the March 2021 quarter shows that 1.25 million out of 2.49 jobless Kenyans are not actively looking for employment. Indeed, we all know the reasons being there are no jobs. In other words, the large number of new job seekers into the market every year have led to very limited opportunities, and hence many of them have become disillusioned. As a solution, they are therefore encouraged to start their own businesses. Likewise, the book entitled Entrepreneurial Universities, Collaboration, Education, and Policies of 2018 by Ferreira, Foyole, Roten, and Raposo says universities are increasingly becoming more entrepreneurial in their outlook and the way they integrate into society. The authors further say that the key feature of Entrepreneurial University is their capacity to explore new ideas on integration of new technology and business practice for socioeconomic development. Ladies and gentlemen, the above cited literature is very relevant with what has brought us here today. Entrepreneurial University creates jobs and also train their students on job creation. They get into partnering agreements to create new companies, which ultimately leads to more jobs and wealth creation for social economic growth. Entrepreneurial University also fully embrace university-industry collaboration, community-driven outreach programs, and generally seek every available way of being relevant to the community. Therefore, although different scholars may point at different elements in their description of Entrepreneurial University, the aspect of soft skill development, being innovative, relevant to the community, as well as being technology driven as some of the key hallmarks for an entrepreneurial university. Additionally, a university's capacity to provide an interface between research output and community engagement is yet another vital entrepreneurial element. I therefore take this opportunity to congratulate the 5 participating Kenyan universities for successfully identifying a gap and working as a team in fulfilling the needs that will seal that gap for the good of our society. Through the effort that we are witnessing today, students and communities have been guided on job creation and communities, industries, and other stakeholders have been brought on board. This milestone, coupled with conducive policy framework at the country and national government level, cases like the one cited above from the Business Daily will be addressed. The issue of youth disillusionment due to job scarcity will be effectively addressed, and our community will be safer to live in with reduced incidences of crime, radicalization, and other dehumanizing situations. As an appreciation, to DAD, the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, we appreciate your support. To the Kenyan partner universities who are in SEPU and the PUC, we do appreciate each of you for your input. We appreciate the coordinators and all stakeholders, as we also congratulate the beneficiaries. In conclusion, I urge the partnering university as well as all the stakeholders to ensure the gain made by these two projects are not lost. Let us all join hands to ensure our synergy moves from strength to strength. I look forward to receiving the post-project assistance framework from the project coordinators, and we assure you of our support as the university management. I thank the organizers for choosing MKU as the hosting university. Let us remember, together everyone achieves more. This could be our clarion call for collaborative spirit as we move forward. The journey has just started. Let us move on as we start planning for the second International Conference for Entrepreneurial University of Africa, maybe in 2022 or in 2023. With that, I thank you and God bless you and enjoy the conference. Thank you. As indicated by the coordinators, it is my privilege and honor to invite our Pro-Chancellor to be able to say a few words to this particular conference.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor, for this opportunity. I am greatly honored really to be here because it reminds me of the inception meeting that created SEPU. This was about 2018 when at the Pan-African Hotel in Nairobi, the sponsors of the program, DAD, and collaborating universities from Germany brought together Mount Kenya University and Kenyatta University to develop and initiate the SEPU program. I happened to have participated in that particular meeting from the Kenya Private Sector Alliance. I was representing the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, which is the pinnacle private body in Kenya that brings private players into a collaboration. It is a unit that also interacts with government to make Kenya a destination for investors, a destination for doing business. And one of the most important things that we consider at KEPSA, where currently I chair the Education Sector Board, is the need for industry-academia linkage. And through such a collaboration, we are able to expose university players to the need of the industry, And the universities are also able to fill in the gap and stand in the gap, especially in research where the private sector may benefit. Talking about an entrepreneurial university, it brings us to the question of what value do we expose students to when they come to the university? How useful do they become to themselves, to the society, and to their families? We know that career choices are a challenge. We know sometimes students come to the university and what they seek other than academia should be a gateway to exploiting their potential. A collaboration like this, therefore, gives university students the opportunity. It also gives the university the opportunity to support their clients to become useful. Today, as we mark this very important conference, there are two things that have excited me, actually maybe three. One is the collaboration between Kenyan universities. For many times, collaborations have been between Kenyan or African universities and foreign or external universities. Here, we are seeing collaboration between African universities, Kenyan universities. Kenyatta University with MKU, Karatina University is in the house, Chuka is in the house. This collaboration will help us to identify and unlock the potential that we have in Africa. Another very important thing that today is worth celebrating is that the World Health Organization has today okayed a vaccine for malaria disease. And this vaccine has been developed by African researchers in collaboration with Glaxo Pharmaceutical. I think this is a big achievement because we, from the African continent, are able to exploit our innovativeness, are able to use our creativity to solve our African problem. Another very important thing that is happening today is that down in South Africa, they are celebrating the 90th birthday of Desmond Tutu, Archbishop Desmond Tutu. So Africa today is marking important events, which to me, I think it is important for us to say, what contribution can we continue giving to our continent? We have seen many situations where our African young brains are seeking to escape from Africa. Yet, we are also seeing a lot of other countries seeking to enter Africa because they are potentials. Let us therefore expose our students to entrepreneurial mind, to innovative mind, so that they can exploit the potential that is in Africa. Today, as I talk to you, I am proud to say this tie was given to me in 2018 by the dad when we launched the SEPU project. And therefore I'm saying this is a manifestation of the interaction that Mount Kenya University, KEPSA, and the SEPU partners have continued to play. Feel welcome, and we are excited that today we are holding this conference in the university. The original conference, we held it in a Pan-African hotel in Nairobi. But you can see the growth that African universities have continued to provide. You are welcome to this venue. you're welcome to participate and conduct many more conferences in this convention center. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Vice Chancellor.
Thank you very much, Pro-Chancellor, for those very important words. Again, it's my privilege and honor to invite our co-partner in this conference, and that is Professor Mshai Mchiri, who is the Vice Chancellor of Karatina University. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Professor. Yes, no, it's okay. I wish I was driving the. Morning, everybody. I realize that if I was to start with the protocols, I'm likely to leave some important people, including those of you who are seated. So may I just say, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm honored to be here this morning to participate in this very important conference of partnership between Kenyan universities and German universities. I think the introduction has been made of how we came to this as a Pan-Afric. But just before I come to that, I want to introduce Karatina University very briefly. Deviating a little from just reading the speeches, which were very important and very informative. But I want to introduce Karatina University very briefly. So if we can go to the next slide. That's Karatina University. From the compound of Karatina University, you see the top of Mount Kenya. So we're in the right place. You can see the partnership. We see the top of Mount Kenya every morning and evening, and you use the name, and we are quite happy about that. So for those who have not been there, we are located 165 or so kilometers from Nairobi, and the main campus is about 15 kilometers from Karatina town. We chose Karatina because when you mention Karatina, you know where you are in this country, rather than calling it Kagoshi. So Karatina University started in 2007, and it took over from the Kagoshi Tea Training Institute, very important institution, which started off training African tea farmers, because in the past, it's just the colonial large-scale farmers that were growing tea. And in 1957, that's when the African small-scale tea farmers started growing tea, and they were being trained at Karatina. And so this was a campus of Moi University. At that time, we called ourselves Mount Kenya. But when Mount Kenya picked up and started moving really fast, we thought, let's get a name that is going to be more familiar to a lot of people. And it got elevated to a university college in October 2010 and received a charter on 1st March 2013 by His Excellency Mwai Kibaki. And that is the vision, mission, core values that are up there. So if whoever is moving the slides can keep up with us, that's our motto. But the new, we have chosen in the past to be the green university. We have a lot of greenery around Karatina University, but that's not the real essence of a green university. The essence of a green university is to be green in whatever activities that we carry out, so that we save energy, we do all the green stuff. We use solar. We have not gone to 100% using solar, but we are using some solar energy, and we are going also to biogas and so on and so forth. But since the beginning of this collaboration, we have added one more word, and now our new buzzword of buzz phrase is Green Entrepreneurial University. We have 6 schools listed there. We don't have a big population. We focus more on quality. We have about 6,000 students every year, and we are happy to guide those into coming out as very well refined persons into the job market. We are also involved in a lot of infrastructure development, and this is funded by government mainly, and we are so thankful for that. We are just building a library, 3,000 sitting capacity library, and we are quite happy to show that that's what we are at Karatina University. We could say a lot more, but for the time being, let's focus on our journey on the DPUC collaboration. I think the Pro-Chancellor has clearly indicated where we met in 2018 at the Pan-Afric, and we were invited there. I took with me the Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of Academic Research and Student Affairs, seated over there, and the Director of Research and International Programs at that time. It was really competitive because we were a large number of universities, and yeah, it was competitive, and we are so happy that we were chosen to be I think there were 2 categories, one of younger universities like ours and larger universities like Mount Kenya and KU and so on. And so we were happy to be considered. So we consulted, and for us, the collaboration, like again the Pro-Chancellor said, this is a really unique arrangement where we have local universities collaborating. And the 3 universities around the central region came together, Karatina University, Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, and Chuka University, to collaborate in this project and to collaborate with Saarland University in Germany. Now, a few goals, and I'm not going to be spending too much time in taking you through all this, but I'll just run quickly, was to train lecturers in competency-based teaching formats. So the CPC that is coming today is following in our track, and that is really good. To increase students' job market orientation, or what you might call marketability, and that has been alluded to a few minutes ago. To develop and enhance innovativeness, to increase idea development, incubation, and business startups. And we have been having a number of groups of students who have been brought together, as it's going to be happening shortly, at the end of this week, at the Dedan Kimathi University of Technology, where students will bring their innovations, they will present them, and they will be competing as startups. To improve communication between university and enterprise or industry, that's really important, because really we are training for industry and enterprise to inculcate a mindset change from status quo towards transformative thinking. And that's, again, very, very important. And we have learned quite a bit from Salad University, and we are so grateful about that because they have led in this direction to encourage entrepreneurial action. And to me, this is why we have chosen to have entrepreneurial word in our new buzz phrase. The key elements of the Entrepreneurial University, as is captured in this project, and I know that Dr. Nida Bajwa will be coming to give a little bit more details because he'll be coming here a little later. Focus on the student, mindset transformation, that we are not just training students to be employed, but also to fit in the market, not just as employees, but also as job creators. I know that is something that we get to hear during graduation ceremonies. Speakers after speakers will talk about be job creators and not job seekers. Yes, and this is what we are doing in practical sense. To be keen at innovative opportunities, experiential learning, spend some time in industry, and at Karatina University, we now are collaborating with industry where we bring in industry practitioners to co-teach with our professors, and we also have students spend quite some time in industry so that by the time they are coming out, they just don't have theory, but they also have the industry knowledge with them. Modeling to self-employment, and I had already mentioned that. And the staff, culture of innovation in creation and translation of knowledge. For a long time, professors would just, regurgitate what they learned, what they have done in their research, but we are talking about innovation, and we are very proud to have that word innovation in our motto. Supported, assured, motivated, and mentors and role models to our students. And we are talking about creating and identifying enterprising opportunities. And we have a long list of other, supportive external environments and linkages, because when we link with industry and other practitioners outside of the university, our students and our staff gain that experience that helps them to be a lot more innovative and fitting in industry. Now, to start off, the project sent a team of senior officials from the university, from the 3 universities. We were quite happy to be hosted at Saarland. The temperatures were starting to go down, and that was nice, but yeah. So we were 5 of us from every university, and then we had a first cohort of champions, entrepreneurial champions, that followed after the senior management visited Saarland. And I can tell you there was excitement when this first cohort came back, ready to go, ready to move, because they had acquired new knowledge and impetus to move the university towards entrepreneurial university. And that's not just for Karatina University. And I know that my colleagues from Dedan Kimathi, University of Technology, and Chuka University will be mentioning what may have the result of these visits to Saarland University. Now, Karatina University's achievements, very briefly, I would say, first of all, it took some time to refine this approach amongst our staff and students. And we received a number of faculty from Saarland University who came and inducted our staff, both academic and non-academic, but also a few students. And those who went to Saarland and became champions provided a stopgap for when the consultants from Germany were not within and they were running with this. So the concept of the entrepreneurial university is a major driver for self-development and innovation as an appropriate response to succeeding in highly turbulent and unpredictable markets. I mean, if we were just to wait, like we have just had a few minutes ago, if we were just to depend purely on coming out of university with a degree and going out there to look for jobs, I can tell you it's a daunting task for students. You know the number of students that are coming out of universities. We now have, I think, 63, both public and private universities in this country. They are competing for the same jobs. And not to forget that we have others that are coming out of TVETs, who happen, by the way, to have really good hands-on experiences and are giving the degree holders quite some challenge, because perhaps they would paid less, but have higher capacity in certain regards in terms of hands-on experiences. The concept of entrepreneurial university at Karatina University is gradually but surely being adopted, and we are quite excited about this. I was just speaking to Dr. Bajwa a few minutes ago, and I said I hope that this is we are going to have a phase 2, or we'll move on. But even if we don't get that, I can assure you the train has left the station and we will be in that direction. Once completely adapted, it will enable the university to encourage, nurture, and support entrepreneurial activities among students and staff. And that is happening. That's happening in a small way at the moment. And we are starting to put this so that we support students, including their startups, not just students, even staff who have startup projects and their work is innovative. We are starting to provide our own finances and not just wait for, not Deutschmark, these days it's euros, to come so that we move on. We have Kenya shillings put into this project, into this area of entrepreneurship and innovation to build up the capacity of students and staff. Through the DPUC project, Karatina University has achieved several things. The university has developed coordinators and champions, like I mentioned before, and they have developed a roadmap for elevating the university to be an entrepreneurial university. We have also had 5 SMART goals developed to guide this process of growth. And I've listed them there. Perhaps I don't even need to read them out to you. We have recognition of efforts to promote innovation and entrepreneurship. It's really important that any little innovation and entrepreneurial achievement is recognized, both at management level and at the board level, or what we call council at university. And the university management is fully supportive of this process. And thanks to the project, its management that was first inducted in this, and we fully appreciate the importance of this process. We're also providing the necessary support, like I've indicated, providing financial support for innovations and startup projects that staff and students are starting. So we have nested this to a large extent in the School of Business, but the entire university is involved in the project because every school, academic school, has a champion that makes certain that the entrepreneurial spirit is inculcated in every area of our endeavor. We have also sensitized faculty on innovation and entrepreneurship. Perhaps I'm just repeating this and I don't have to take too long. What significant thing that we've done, we have included entrepreneurship in our curricula so that every curriculum has a small bit of entrepreneurship. Of course, those in the School of Business, that has been the case, but we have extended that. It doesn't matter whether you're doing agriculture, you're doing natural resources, we have put in some degree of content on entrepreneurship, so that whatever it is that we do, if one comes out with a degree in fisheries and aquaculture, there is a good degree of entrepreneurship in that curriculum. We have also planned to start an incubation hub. And so we have developed a policy through which the innovation hub will be guided and directed, and we are quite proud about that. And we're encouraging our own staff and students to make full use of that policy. There is one particular part of the project that is about to, take place, and this is the acquisition of fabrication laboratory equipment, which will be supplied again from Germany very shortly. And I'll be having a chat with Dr. Bajwa to hear whether the equipment is already on the high seas. And that is to provide means by which staff and students will use to create innovations. And we are looking forward to this taking place very shortly. The other thing is that we have strengthened, and I think I mentioned a little earlier, strengthened the university-industry collaboration. And we think that this is really, really important. I know that this is something that is mentioned quite a lot in universities, but we have really strengthened this, bringing qualified personnel in industry to co-teach with our faculty. And we think it's adding a lot of good value to our teaching and learning at Karatina University. In conclusion, entrepreneurial universities have a strong bottom-up development and initiative, and please forgive me for using bottom-up. Those in Kenya know what it is I'm talking about. But it does start from